On the News Channel 5 network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. We hear it every day as we deal with the virus pandemic. When will we return to normal? And when normal gets here, what will it look like? With 2020 being a presidential election year, we found out pretty quickly how our politics and campaigns are changing. The November election is less than 7 months away now, and the August primaries less than 4. How have our politics and political campaigns already changed? Will they adapt still more between now and the months and weeks and months to come? We brought in two of the best political gurus we know to discuss these topics as our guests on Inside Politics this week. Carol Andrews has run many successful Democratic campaigns, advised many candidates. Chip Saltsman has done the same on the Republican side. Welcome to both of you. We've been on the show before. Thank you so much for joining us. Morning, Carol.
Thank you. Hi.
Strategy in structuring a campaign starts well before an election year. Carol, how far along were you when when March came and suddenly you had to sort of readjust and the virus came?
Oh, wow. Well, I did a whole lot of the work that I do. I'm usually brought on very early in the process in a campaign, so I did a whole lot of 2020 work in 2019, and so was ahead of the curve that way. I'm doing quite a bit more now on the congressional level as they're coming in, and then the state legislative races around the country. And I took some time off to participate in the presidential primary campaign for Mike Bloomberg in Tennessee, so was heavily involved there. And it was just like, wow, you've got primary day, we've been hit by tornadoes, we don't know where people are going to vote, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you look up to what else is going on in the world, and you have COVID coming on. And so I went home pretty quickly from Nashville and have been sequestered here on the farm ever since.
So, Chip Saltsman, what are you doing? Are you having to readjust or to come up with a brand new way of doing your campaign? Have you started in one direction, now you're having to go back in another direction because of all these changes?
Well, I think some of the biggest changes have been, for me, is, before this happened, when I looked at my March, April, and May calendar, I was going to be traveling about 3 weeks out of every month. Now I'm traveling 0 days of every month. And we're learning new great technologies like Zoom. We're learning how to communicate in different ways and how campaigns can communicate in different ways, too. Carol has done a lot of grassroots campaign as I have done. And that's all about door knocking and personal connection and getting out there. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. And you've got some of these politicians, like some of the best grassroots people out there, that are literally now campaigning with a hand tied behind their back. I mean, at the presidential level, look at Bernie Sanders. His whole campaign was big rallies, big high energy events. When this happened, there was zero path forward for him because he couldn't do that anymore. So I think every campaign you work on, whether it's a city council race to a presidential campaign, fundamentally has changed over the last 30, 60 days. And I don't know that we ever get back to exactly what we want to do this cycle. But you have to deal the hand, and every campaign's different, and every campaign you say there's going to be something unexpected. You always have that one consultant. I assume it's Carol at the end of the race says, I knew that was going to happen. I don't think even she knew this was going to happen.
Carol, let's talk about the basics. What do you tell a candidate about shaking hands? They don't do that anymore. What about hugging people? What about kissing babies? Is all that out the window?
That is gone, and for the foreseeable future anyway. I was talking to a candidate up in my neck of the woods the other day, and I said, you're going to have, running in a rural area, you're going to have to try some new tactics using technology, and it's tough in a place where a lot of people in the rural areas don't have access to broadband and the technology that we enjoy. It's tough out here where I live to get really good broadband. And so it's going to be a different way to reach voters, and the canvassing, that sort of stuff, no handshaking, no kissing babies, no touching anybody if they have any sense about them. It's just gone.
Chip, let me ask you, you mentioned just a minute ago the importance of rallies for a lot of campaigns. President Trump has done almost all his campaigning in 2016 with these big rallies. Would you advise him, if you were working with him, to quit doing that? And if he does, what does he do?
Yeah, good luck advising President Trump to do something he doesn't want to do. But I will say this. I mean, I was on a call this week thinking about the conventions for the first time for Democrats and Republicans. We started talking about what actually do we have to do at the conventions, by the bylaws of each party. We have to meet. We have to have a call of states. We have to do a roll call. We have to do a nominating process. What does that look like if we're not wide open by August? And you know that President Trump and you know that Joe Biden both want a big audience, a big enthusiastic crowd in a stadium when they give that speech accepting the nomination. And so I think both parties right now are trying to figure out what that looks like. Look, Trump feeds off the crowds. That's his lifeblood. I think he wants to get back there tomorrow if he could. I think everybody would agree with that. But I think he's done a really good job from the podium right now to kind of be, some ways, we're not going to do that until we fix this.
Carol, with the new guidance that's come out from the White House this week and the CDC about things can slowly ease the economy back open, that may slowly ease open the ability to maybe have larger groups. But do you really want to have larger groups at this point? I mean, won't that sort of make your campaign look like you don't care, that you don't care if the virus comes back? Even if you take people's temperatures before they come in, wouldn't that be sort of a buzzkill to bring in a crowd and everybody's had their temperature taken before they got into the crowd?
Yeah, it would be strange for sure. Look, a Gallup poll just came out the other day. It shows that Americans in the cities, the suburbs, the rural areas overwhelmingly want to wait and see before reopening the economy. They want to wait and see and be safe about it. I think people realize that you can get another job, but you can't get another life. And they're just wanting to cool their heels, and they understand that COVID does not respect borders. So whatever governors do, what the feds do to reopen the economy, which I think everybody wants to do, but they don't want to be rash about it. They know that COVID does not respect borders. And I think that anybody who jumps out there too quickly is going to put people in danger, and they will pay for it dearly.
Carol Anders is our guest. She's a Democratic political guru about campaigns, along with Chip Saltsman, who does that on the Republican side. Back to continue our conversation about how our politics and campaigns are changing in 2020 after this break.
This is Storm.